You notice it almost instantly. A woman who seemed emotionally invested suddenly becomes colder, quieter, and strangely harder to read. One day she's giving you attention, replying fast, flirting naturally, and making you feel like you're the only man on her mind. Then suddenly, something changes. Her energy shifts, the warmth disappears, and most men make the mistake of thinking they did something wrong. But here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes the distance has nothing to do with you at all. One of the biggest signs is emotional detachment after intense attention. A woman who recently shared intimacy with another man often enters a psychological state where she pulls back emotionally from everyone else around her, especially men who were previously pursuing her. Why? Because intimacy changes emotional focus temporarily. Most men never realize this, but after sleeping with someone, a woman's behavior can unconsciously reorganize around protecting her emotions, hiding guilt, preserving mystery, or figuring out how she truly feels. You may notice she suddenly becomes inconsistent. Her replies get slower. Her eye contact changes. She still talks to you, but the emotional excitement feels weaker. It's almost like she's physically present but mentally somewhere else. And the reason is deeper than most people think. Women are emotional processors. When something emotionally intense happens, especially involving attraction and intimacy, it affects their mood, attention, and behavior in subtle ways. Another sign is unexplained defensiveness. You ask a simple question, and suddenly she reacts like you accused her of something. That's because people often become defensive when they fear hidden truths being exposed. A woman who recently slept with someone may unconsciously overprotect her privacy, her phone, her schedule, or even random details she never cared about before. Not because she's evil, but because secrecy creates tension. Then there's the sudden shift in validation patterns. If she was chasing your attention before, you may notice she no longer craves it the same way. This confuses men badly. They assume attraction disappeared overnight. But often, her emotional attention is temporarily occupied elsewhere. Here's the dangerous mistake most men make. They become needy, reactive, and desperate for reassurance. They double text. They overanalyze. They try harder. And ironically, that pressure pushes her even further away. But the real clue is in her emotional contradictions. She may still flirt occasionally. She may still watch your stories obsessively. She may disappear for hours, then suddenly return with unexpected energy. Hot and cold behavior like this often reveals inner emotional conflict. She's trying to balance attraction, guilt, curiosity, emotional attachment, and uncertainty all at once. Here's the part most men completely misunderstand. When a woman becomes emotionally distant after intimacy with someone else, it does not always mean she has lost interest in you forever. In many cases, she's psychologically recalibrating. She's comparing emotional experiences, testing her own feelings, and trying to understand where her strongest attraction truly exists. And during that process, silence becomes incredibly revealing. A confident man does not panic when her energy changes. That's the difference. Weak men chase clarity immediately. They demand answers, attention, reassurance. But confident men understand female psychology at a deeper level. They know attraction often grows in emotional space, not emotional pressure. When you remain calm instead of reactive, you instantly separate yourself from the emotionally needy men she's used to dealing with. Most men never realize this, but women observe emotional strength more than words. If her behavior changes and you immediately spiral into jealousy, insecurity, or desperation, you unintentionally communicate weakness. But when you maintain your composure, focus on your own life, and refuse to compete for validation, something interesting happens. Her curiosity about you grows again. Why? Because emotional certainty kills mystery, and mystery is deeply connected to attraction. A woman who recently slept with someone else may begin questioning that decision emotionally over time, especially if the experience lacked emotional depth, stability, or genuine connection. That's when she starts remembering the man who stayed emotionally grounded instead of emotionally chaotic. Here's where it gets fascinating. Silence can create more attraction than chasing ever will. You'll often notice subtle re-entry behaviors. She starts watching your content again. She reacts to small things. She sends random messages that feel unnecessary. She finds excuses to reconnect indirectly instead of openly. These behaviors usually reveal unresolved emotional curiosity. But the mistake is responding with bitterness or emotional punishment. Confident men don't try to win her back. They simply allow attraction to rebuild naturally through emotional self-control. And the deeper psychological truth is this: women are highly influenced by emotional experience, not just logical decisions. The man who controls his emotions often becomes more attractive than the man desperately trying to control the woman herself. That's why emotional discipline is powerful. It creates presence, mystery, and stability all at once. In the end, attraction is rarely destroyed by distance itself. It's destroyed by how you react to the distance. Most men fail because they panic the moment a woman pulls away emotionally. But the men who understand silence, patience, and emotional confidence operate differently. They realize that sometimes the strongest position is not chasing harder, but becoming emotionally unshakable while everyone else loses control.